take your hat off for me. I mean, listen.
Spanish interpreter needed and present. Appearances, please.
Yes, Legal Aid Society, Reveron.
Ready.
Good morning.
All right. Defendant has to be arraigned.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yorman, Reveron, the grand jury of Delaware County has filed an indictment number 70508-24, charging you with the crime of assault in the second degree and other.
Interfered with the officers who were unable to regain control over Brito, and his actions included grabbing one officer and pulling that officer away from the struggle and throwing that officer to the ground in the face when he was stopped. He was released after that case on supervised release, Tier 1, Level 1, and a criminal court arraignment in this matter the defendant.
Even the district attorney, Alvin Bragg himself, mentioned last week during his press conference, there's no evidence of flight with regard to Mr. Reveron. He's never missed court appearances. He underlined cases that Mr. Grimo pointed out. I also wanted to point out that those cases with regard to this case, and they were, to be frank, afraid to come into court.
How old is he?
Now, they all moved, all the individuals moved, and they appear to be walking away. However, so for those reasons, I would ask that you consider to allow him to continue supervision.
$100,000 cash, $250,000 partially secured bond and insurance bond, and a 72-hour surety.
What percent? 10%? Judge.
Sorry?
10% on
Yes.
partial security?
Yes. Do you wish a motion, sir?
Yes.
And Judge, just as regards to motions of discovery, I just want to note that on February 8th,
Appearances, please.
Mark Jankowitz, 305 Broadway, for Mr. Brito. Good morning again, Judge.
and for people 80 in Wyoming,
Good morning, Your Honor.
Judge, I'll note for the record, we filed this serve.
Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Ultimately prevented the officers from gaining control over Mr. Brito. And as I said before, Your Honor, the officers suffered injuries in this case, including Lieutenant Crane suffered a laceration to his nose, bruising to his face, bruising to his right bicep, and substantial pain. Officer Tian secured surety bond. We are, however, Your Honor, requesting the addition or the ordering of a surety hearing. So the defendant here is charged with 2 counts of assault in the second degree, which are violent felonies, carrying a maximum prison sentence of 7 years. He's further charged with
The officer, when he was grabbed and thrown up against the wall. So the officer's conduct to me is unlawful, and the people are certainly going to have a problem proving that count, as well as any misdemeanor counts in this indictment. But the only qualifying offense here, Judge, is the assault in the second degree.
Tuesday, I think.
Okay, and this part?
In this part. That would be the, is that okay? The 20th.
yes, sir.
And then I will set April 2nd for your motions. Yes, Bill. On exonerating 50,000, as it was, partially secured bond and insurance company bond. It's got to have done that.
Judge, if you exonerate, then it's going to take time for the people to get the money back. Is there a way to just
It has to be done this way. And that's the way.
Spanish interpreter needed and present.
Microphone, it's HURWITC, good morning. Good morning.
Kelvin Servita Arocha, the grand jury of New York County has filed indictment number 70508 of 24, charging you with the crime of assault in the second degree and other related charges.
Particularly as it relates to Mr. Arocha, as Lieutenant Korean and Officer Tien were struggling with Yohenry Brito. As regards to
Defendant has been in this country for approximately 3 months, Your Honor. He has no prior conflicts with the law.
How old is he?
He's 20 years old.
Your Honor. Thank you. How old is he?
20.
19.
Stand corrected. It states that he's 19.
I take it you don't have any documentation as to his date of birth.
I don't have any documents whatsoever.
Understood.
I can tell you, though, that he's also...
Sure, so he needs to work. Hold it. Hold on, defendant. What am I signing here? Yes, I'm signing you. And I will.
In the audience. Spanish interpreter needed and present. Appearances, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Adrian Edward appeared on behalf of Wilson Juarez, 15503 Jamaica.
Wilson Juarez, the grand jury of New York County has filed an indictment number 70508 of 24, charging you with the crime of tampering with physical evidence.
Not guilty.
Your Honor, the people have filed and served a copy of the indictment and served a notice of immigration consequences. We've also served a statement of facts that summarizes this defendants and the other participants in the crimes on January 27th roles, respectively, as well as served body-worn camera footage of the officers involved and surveillance video. And including this defendant, Mr. Brito, Mr. Arocha, and defendants Juarez and Madrid, who were arraigned yesterday and the day before. Video depicting the pursuit shows the defendant walking with several of the other defendants and is charged with the felony of tampering with physical evidence, which carries a maximum sentence of 130 to 4 years.
In the beginning, the officer tells people to leave, and you immediately see Mr. Juarez leave. And when he came into the country, he entered through Texas. It was given a court date in Texas. He has since relocated to New York and was not aware of the date in Texas, so an order of deportation was entered, and that's what they put, which now they had to backpedal after reviewing everything and see that my client was not involved in that. And despite what the people put on the record that he went back to the assault.
Mark, may see or went for 91 Juarez.
Officers? I'm sorry.
Okay.
And for the people, Neil Greenwell.
And 88 Moraine, good afternoon, Your Honor.
He has to be arraigned.
Yes, sir.
Please arraign.
Darwin Andre Gomez-Izquiel, sorry. The grand jury of New York County has followed indictment number.
Not guilty.
And Judge, again, I won't reiterate all the facts that I've read in the previous defendants' arraignments today, but specifically as it relates to Mr. Gomez-Izquiel's conduct during the assaults, as Lieutenant Kurian and Officer Tien struggled with defendant Brito. Always sought to further investigate the defendant's role in this attack and sought additional evidence of his identity as a participant. The circumstances was released on his own recognizance. He engaged in a violent theft in Queens. Specifically, on February 13th, Mr. Gomez-Izquiel acted as a lookout for 3 unapprehended individuals who stole or alleged to have stolen approximately $600 in merchandise from the Macy's on Queens Boulevard. And when confronted by a loss prevention officer, the accomplices assaulted the loss prevention officers, enabling their flight. Mr. Gomez-Izquiel was initially charged with robbery in the 2nd degree.
This young man, and he will show up in court and comply with supervisions.
Anything people want to say regarding his involvement?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I just want to know we did file and serve a copy of the indictment and we served the discovery that Mr. Migrants mentioned.
You'll be filing motions on April 2nd.
Of course.
Yeah, obviously, he's here how long? 5 months?
5 months.
And any family here?
No family.
He has no family here, he's 19.
Yes.
And he really...
I would ask the court judge if he can to make it appropriate, significantly reduce what people are asking.
I will, he will be $50,000 cash, $100,000 partially secured bond or insurance company bond with a surety hearing.
Patrick Hendry, President of the Police Benevolent Association. We want to make it clear, New York City police officers are not going to be punching bags on the streets of the city of New York. Our criminal justice system needs to send a clear and consistent message. If you assault a New York City police officer, you will be put behind bars for a long time. From the beginning, from when these individuals were arrested, we said it from the beginning. They should have been put behind bars. They should have never been released. The DA in the case should have requested bail. The judge should have kept them behind bars. But yet, they were allowed back on the streets to cause havoc. Today, for the 2nd day, our criminal justice system did its job. These individuals are all behind bars where they belong. We're going to continue to be in these courtrooms to make sure that anyone who assaults a New York City police officer is behind bars where they belong. The criminal justice system needs to continue to do its job. It did it for 2 straight days. It needs to do it and send a message to all New York City police officers. We got your back. We need them to send that message that they have our back. Questions? Brutal attack on New York City police officer, and there was no reason to let these individuals, vicious individuals, back on the streets of the city of New York, so they should be behind bars where they belong.
Anyone else?